Let's face it, life isn't easy. If you're stuck in a bad relationship, betrayed or afraid of tomorrow, financially insecure, or desperate for a breakthrough, you've come to the right place. Dr. Carmen Harra is a renowned psychologist, intuitive, relationship expert, and best-selling author, and she's here to give you the miracle guidance you need. Her new call-in show, Miracle Guidance for Everyday Life, offers profound wisdom, practical advice, daily exercises, and empowering predictions, all for you. Dr. Harra's show aims to eliminate everyday problems, big and small, with topics like healing your relationships, reclaiming your power, achieving better health, dealing with loss, and so much more. Regain the joy, stability, and fulfillment you deserve to feel. Tune in to Miracle Guidance for Everyday Life with host Dr. Carmen Harra, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and find the answers you've been looking for.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Miracle Guidance. I'm Carmen Harra, and you can feel my excitement and my joy because I have such an amazing guest tonight. And for all of you ladies, this is your show. I have the most extraordinary woman with me tonight, and I'm her biggest fan. And you guys run to the phones and try to connect with this incredible woman. All I can tell that my guest tonight is one of the most respected experts in the field of women's health and longevity. And she's no one else than Dr. Christiane Northrup. She hosts 8 public television specials, 8, numerous books, the New York Times bestsellers, Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom, Goddesses Never Age. She's a board-certified OBGYN. She's been featured on Oprah Winfrey, The View, The Today Show, Good Morning America, every magazine. She's a goddess. She has such an incredible voice. So I went for so many times on her Facebook page, and I'm listening to her voice, to this incredible song. And I want to welcome her by singing one of her songs that she's been singing. Try to remember the kind of September when life was slow and oh so mellow. Try to remember the kind of September when grass was green and gray so yellow. Try to remember the kind of September when we were tender and callow fellow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. So welcome, Dr. Christiane Northrup. I love you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You are just such an inspiration to me with everything you do for all of us, to keep us be in shape, to make us feel, inspired all the time. You have so much to give. It's incredible. And tonight I want to speak about your book, The Wisdom of Menopause, because all of us, we have to go at some point through menopause. We don't really want to, but we have to. And with your guidance, we'll look at menopause like the age of wisdom. And I'm going to ask you so many questions, and I have so many people online excited to say hello and to ask you questions.
But
your book,
that's perfect.
Yes, let's go for it. Exactly. Your book has so much information about hormonal therapy, everything that's new out there, like the new way of losing weight and the way we train the mind. And we know very well, I'm graduating Cornell right now at my age, but I learned at Cornell that actually we cannot lose weight through dieting and exercise. It's all in the mind. It's all a pattern of behavior. So if you can teach us a little bit how to work with that. And you also talk a lot about the problem that women have with the thyroid, Hashimoto disease. So there's so much. Tell us a little bit about your book, and I can go on and on and on and ask you millions of questions, but I don't want to overwhelm you, so I give you the microphone.
Okay. This is the first edition of Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom. It first came out in 2001, and back then I began to realize that it was a mind-body revolution, and it was not the end. It was a new beginning. And there was no reason for women to suffer like so many had suffered. And also no reason for women to get sick and go into chronic illness and all of that.
True.
Now, I am board certified in OBGYN, and I certainly have seen my share of chronic illness and breast problems and weight gain and diabetes and all the rest of it. But I realized early on a lot of that was optional. But here's the thing. By the time you get to 40, 42, 44, somewhere in there, your body, the chances are good that you have not been taking care of yourself optimally. But your body let you get away with it. Like you can diet all week and fit into the little black dress for the weekend. Well, when you get to midlife, everything catches up with you. And so it's not that your hormones are the problem. It's that your hormones are forcing you to change your behavior if you want to make the second half of your life as healthy and vibrant as it can be, because you get a new brain after menopause. That FSH, LH, the follicle-stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone that were very high, just with ovulation, are now high the rest of your life. So we have the ability to be smarter, to be more successful, to have more fun, because you really, when you get to about 44, 50, whatever, it's adolescence in reverse. It's like all those stormy emotions of when you were 11 or 12 come back, but so does the voice of your soul. And so you need to see it as you're reinventing yourself to become who you really are and who you've always been, but you had to fit into society and have your job, do your training, have your children. Now it needs to be your time, but you have to claim it. You have to take it yourself, because society is going to sell you a bill of goods. Society is going to tell you you're too old, it's too late, men only like women who are 20 years younger, all this stuff. All of it does not need to be your experience, but you need to tune in to your soul. You need to tune into what's happening inside you.
Right.
So, and so the book has, it has all the stuff. It's got all the stuff about breast health, mammograms, the uterus, how to keep it. If you don't have it, what to do, what ovaries do for you. It's got herbal remedies. It has bioidentical hormone stuff, thyroid, why that goes, why that's a problem in so many women, how to heal that, so many things. It's a big, thick Bible for midlife women.
Right. Well, I'm going to ask you a little bit about Hashimoto, because this is an autoimmune disorder, and a lot of women have Hashimoto. So the thyroid still works, but they have nodule, and then they complain of high, antibodies. And so how can we deal with that? We have
what you begin to realize, and I learned this from Anthony William, the medical medium, is that the Hashimotos is just named after the Japanese guy who
yes,
first
exactly.
saw it. So that doesn't really mean anything. But what it is that when you have a first bout with, let's say, Epstein-Barr virus, with herpes virus, let's say, and mononucleosis would be often the very first time a woman gets run down in college, let's say, doesn't eat right, doesn't sleep enough, drinks too much, whatever, and gets mono. Well, I need to tell everybody that these herpes viruses, the mononucleosis virus, the Epstein-Barr virus, they're all everywhere all the time. You will not get sick from them if your vitamin D levels are optimal, if you're standing on the earth, you're in Miami, so walking on the beach where the electromagnetic field of the earth decreases cellular inflammation. But what happens to women, the other thing is the thyroid's related to your voice, to your genuine voice.
Mm-hmm.
And many women have stifled that voice forever. And so it's a time when you have to speak up. You must speak up. And chances are very good, if you speak up in the family that has put you down for maybe years, they're not going to like it. So Cheryl Richardson has a wonderful book called The Art of Extreme Self-Care with an entire chapter entitled, Let Me Disappoint You. And I think women have to really understand that we have, for most of our lives, this is certainly true of me and many of my friends and patients, we have felt good about ourselves to the just to the degree that we could be pleasing to others. I mean, I remember when I was married, I always wanted to get a haircut that my husband liked, but he never liked whatever I came up with, so I would have to, come into the hairdresser with me. I mean, just tell me what you want. Now, there were some real problems with that approach, wasn't there?
Of course, of course.
A haircut for myself, I was trying to please him. The same with your body. It's the same with what you do for vacation, what you like to do. I mean, I remember once I got divorced, my family was trying to help me meet someone, and all of their suggestions were hilarious because they were based on what they liked. So my mother says, you should carry a fly rod through O'Hare Airport when you are doing a speaking engagement. You should just carry a fly rod because I've met a lot of men walking through the airport if I've got this fishing rod. I said, yeah, but you need to like to fish because otherwise and then my brother laughs and he goes, I know, ice fishing. I mean, another one said that you should, hang around small airports with pilots. And it's like, when you do that, you are selling yourself short because you're also lying. You're lying. Like, I'm just here to meet a man. Then as soon as you meet the man, then you will eventually, after the first 2 years, where you're kind of in the bliss state and oxytocin thing, you're going to have to become yourself. And the beauty of the menopause transition is you become yourself. And in my case, I remember I didn't know what colors I liked. I didn't know what kind of furniture I liked. I just went along with whatever he liked because he seemed to be really into it. Now, I wouldn't...
You lost your identity. Yeah.
I completely know it. No, what it was is what I did was I said, okay, I will be Mrs. So-and-so, but just don't bother me while I go out and transform women's health, which was passion. It was my passion, but I had no idea that was actually the work of my soul, you see. And
exactly.
During perimenopause is you begin to, anyone who feels angry, and a lot of women feel angry, they're really angry because there's a need that has never been met, a need for self-expression, a need for, in my case, I always wanted to learn partner dancing. And it took me a long time to get up the courage because I'd always wanted to get my husband to do that, and he never would do it. And finally, here's what I want to say to women. We always think, we make the mistake of thinking we can't do something unless someone goes with us. And very, very often, when you have the courage, like in my case, to go, into a dance studio alone, you will eventually meet a whole new group of people. Or maybe it's organic gardening, or maybe it's a flower show, or maybe it's learning an instrument or singing, whatever it is. But you need to take the first step. And we our whole life, we're kind of waiting for permission. And I think right now, the whole planet is in perimenopause, like all of humanity is in perimenopause.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. You're so right.
Yeah, now the other thing with Hashimoto's, obviously, there's all kinds of things you can do. Most women need more iodine. So you can just have some kelp tablets, organic eggs, a little seaweed. Many people are very deficient in iodine.
And selenium.
And selenium.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Right. And people can take supplements of iodine also.
Oh, yeah.
How can you work out the antibodies going to the roof? Because sometimes the antibodies, they do go very high.
Oh, you mean when you start to take the iodine?
Yeah, even when you take it, the antibodies still go high sometime in Hashimoto. Do you have a solution for that?
The people that I have seen get better from Hashimoto's actually begin to take control of their voice. So the fifth chakra is...
The fifth chakra, yeah.
The fifth chakra is about self-expression, timing, and creativity.
Right.
So you need to change your relationship with time. You need to say, I have all the time in the world. And singing and toning and humming, using your voice, which has a frequency. That frequency will heal your voice. But you also you need to clean up your diet. You can follow something. There's all kinds of things. You could do a 1 month cleanse, like the medical medium cleanse, just fruits and vegetables, green juice. You could do a fast. And for some people, the better diet is a keto diet with way more fat and way less carbs. So it's very dependent on what the person wants to do. But in general, I would recommend for anyone a cleanse, like a 5-day to 7-day cleanse. I did a 6-day water fast this year.
Wow.
And I did it with a friend. I couldn't have done it otherwise because you need to be distracted. And but it kind of resets everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you something. I'm also very intuitive, so I'm listening to you, and I feel like your new book is about to be born. I feel like you're writing something new that's completely different, not only touching the medical field, but touching you. Your extraordinary personality, and everything you're telling me, in my mind, becomes a book. I don't know if you resonate with what I'm telling you, but I feel like I take the courage to tell you this.
Oh, I do. Yeah. No, I feel I'm in here's the thing, and I can tell you this just very clearly. Redoing the 5th edition of Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom that came out last July, and then redoing the Wisdom of Menopause, this is like bookends in my women's health career. It's like these mark the end of that career, because there will now be something completely new that's being born.
Different,
I can feel it. I can absolutely feel it.
I see it. I see it for you. I was just, because I asked you about Hashimoto because I have Hashimoto, and I'm a singer. I've been a singer since I was a child, a professional singer. I also wrote books. I exactly you describing me with the creativity, the need to speak, the need to sing. But I do have this problem with my thyroid, though my thyroid functions perfectly. But I do have nodules on my thyroid, so consequently, this is what they label me as Hashimoto. Though my thyroid doesn't bother me in any way, but I hear you. But I do see you. I have this amazing vision of you. I see a movie about your life. So I love this movie. It's just so beautiful. Oh my God! It's like, and the dancing, with the dancing and the music. I was so inspired, Dr. Northrup. You're a goddess. You just beyond this world. I mean, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed by you. I don't have enough words to tell you how much I love you and how much I adore you and how grateful I am for your time tonight. And with your permission, I'd love to take some calls, because there are so many ladies who would love to ask you, who dream to ask you a question. Is that okay if we take some phone calls?
Yeah,
okay.
That's beautiful, yes.
I'm going to go to Rose in California. Hi, Rose. How are you, my dear?
Hi, Carmen. Hi, Dr. Northrup. Thank you so much for taking my call. Yes. I recently just went into menopause, and I've been dealing with a lot of symptoms, and I just don't feel like myself. And I don't know how to get back like cognitive clarity and sleeping better, and I don't know like what supplement or what I should take.
Okay, I
can
tell you what I would recommend first. And I started a company, Amata Life, to bring in this incredible herb from Thailand called Carraria Mirifica, and it worked so well that I kind of moved heaven and earth to get that stuff on the market. So if you go to AMAT, which means ageless in Thai, amatalife.com, there's a supplement, there's Amata Pure, there's the the plus stuff, the Praeria mirifica plus, and generally speaking, believe it or not, if it's going to work, women will begin to feel relief within 4 days. We also have a vaginal moisturizer that completely restores the mucosal lining of the vagina, so having, no dryness. And here's the good news. After you've used it for a while, it just seems to restore everything, and then you don't need to use it anymore. So it's not like a pharmaceutical drug where you need it the rest of your life. Now, the Praeria mirifica plus, you might want to take it, twice a day for a while, and then just see what happens. And for all those women, because I'm always asked this, who are on hormones already, prescription hormones, you can switch from the prescription hormones to the Praeria mirifica, but what you want to do is start the Praeria mirifica first for a month as you decrease your prescription hormones. And again, I'm trying to get women away from the medical model, away from the doctor's office, away from prescription medication, just because that kind of locks you in. They won't give you the prescription unless you've had a mammogram or whatever it is. So this is a solution. But also remember that I don't feel like myself is because you are in labor with a whole new self, and it's going to be better than it ever was. But you need to use your imagination, your creative power, which is what Carmen's work is all about, to envision yourself as a whole new person, a whole new life. So do not buy the culture thing about, I used to make fun of myself, and I would say, I used to be this married woman with a handsome husband and, 2 beautiful children, and now I am a postmenopausal woman living alone with cats. Well, I would do that as a joke because even though it was true, I never felt that way. And so what you want to do is you want to really assume that the best is yet to come, that your life is just going to get better and better and better. But for a while, during that 6 to 13-year process of becoming the new you kind of have to go through updating the files. And that means any unfinished business from the time of adolescence till now comes up to be healed. And the way you heal that, you don't have to do an archaeologic dig or get into therapy or anything. You just say, if anything at all were possible, quickly, easily, and now, what would my life look like? And then you just start dreaming about it, and then you take some action to make it happen. So, in my case, I always wanted to learn partner dancing. I looked in the window of Maine Ballroom Dance. I saw someone doing Argentine tango by the window. I said, oh, my God, that's it. I couldn't find a male partner to go with me. I finally just started to go by myself. And over the ensuing 9 years, I learned how to dance and got a whole new community. Now, at this particular time, because of COVID, that community isn't dancing because they're all afraid. My group is not afraid, so now I have a whole new group of people that we hug and we hang out and nobody wears masks, all of that. So it's like God said, okay, that particular phase is now over. So what's next? So you need to cultivate this expectation. I'll tell you what I did during that time. I was afraid I was going to lose my house because I went through a divorce and I didn't know that a divorce was a lawsuit. I had no idea. I would be on a treadmill every day saying Catherine Ponder affirmations. Literally, I would keep repeating these positive statements, and as you know, affirmations don't make something happen, they make something welcome. So I had to completely redo my finances. I had to start to take myself seriously as a business, and I knew from all the stuff that, Carmen and I are all about, the law of attraction and all of that. So I knew that I had that kind of power. I was friends with Louise Hay. And it's one thing to read about it. It's quite another to actually do it. And I find that most people do not do what it takes to reinvent yourself and get a whole new life, because it takes courage. Remember, one of the things you're recovering from is whatever group that you have belonged to, and they want to keep you the way they've known you always. And so Dr. Mario Martinez, who grew up in Miami, wrote a book called The Mind-Body Code, and he points out that all tribes, meaning all families, all groups, wound their members in 3 ways: shame, betrayal, abandonment. And when you step forward into who you want to become, I will guarantee you, you will get shamed, you will get abandoned, you'll get betrayed. People will say,
right,
I used to love your work. Whatever happened to you? I've been getting that by the boatload recently, and I thought, nothing happened to me. You just didn't keep up.
Is it possible to make a comment?
Yes, please.
I guess I'm feeling like, prior to perimenopause and now menopause, I felt like I had that mental strength and, cognitively, cognitive behaviorally, I could talk to myself in that way, but now I just don't know. I my hormones just don't, I feel like it doesn't allow me that. I want to get
that. Yeah, that is from the brain catches fire, and the amygdala and the basal forebrain, these parts of your brain actually can literally light up. So what you have to do, you got to get your blood sugar absolutely stable. And I would start the Prairie Mirifica because I get women telling me that they feel so much better. It's an adaptogen. All herbs are adaptogens. So if your estrogen is too high, it makes your body think it's lower. If it's too low, it makes your body think that it's higher. It works differently from a mammalian hormone. Some women use essential oils, by the way, for menopause. Some just do a diet with so for just a week, do absolutely no white foods, no white flour, no white sugar, no wine, no alcohol, and no chocolate. Just do a very simple, like vegetables maybe and some protein like fish. Just see how you feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes all the sense in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, my beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, the both of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We're going to go to Rosemary in Ontario. Hi, Rosemary, my dear. How are you?
Hi, Carmen. Thank you for getting Christine on the show today. I'm so excited.
Great.
We have. I just wanted to say, Christine, I'm 55 and I'm menopausal. So my first symptom was just my stomach started to reshape itself, and I needed bigger pants. I was noticing, but yet my weight wasn't really climbing. My body was just reshaping.
Right.
So I did suspect I had a hormone imbalance. At the time, I was listening to a lot of podcasts on hormones, and so I had the Dutch hormone test,
Yep.
which is a dry urine analysis. I'm sure you're very familiar with it. My naturopath read the results, and so I was deficient in quite a few things: estrogen, progesterone, and a few others. Testosterone, everything I was low in, and cortisol, DHEA, you name it, I was low in it. But my main symptom, I also had headaches, I was moody, I had hot flashes. But my main symptom was burning mouth syndrome. And I don't know if that was directly related to an imbalance of hormones. I'm on a bioidentical estrogen and progesterone. It has helped my burning mouth. I was at about a 10, almost intolerable, and now I'm down to about a 1 for pain level.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it is, and I don't know if those two are connected, burning mouth.
I am certain that they're connected. I'm certain that they're connected. Oh. I will also tell you that, what needs to happen for most of us is that we need to get replete on a bunch of nutrients. One of the ones that, now you're in Ontario, I'm in Maine, so we're in the same, we're up north. Carmen does not need to worry about this nearly as much, but we are almost
vitamin D.
Yeah, we're deficient.
Yeah.
Yep. So you need vitamin D, usually 10,000 international units a day.
Units a day. I know I'm on 100,000 a week right now. I was so low. I was in like 19 was my level. And so I brought it up to 72.
What about 50,000 a week? What about 50,000 units a week?
Yeah, that works fine. That's the Holic protocol, Michael Holic.
Yes.
Yeah, and he has people do that for 8 weeks. It pushes vitamin D into the cells. But, now the sun has come back. So there is something about being out in the sun that will often raise vitamin D when the supplements don't, which is interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
You also need vitamin K2, 180 micrograms per day. But try to get yourself on the land, standing on the soil, on the grass, 20 minutes a day, and as much sun as you can. Obviously, you're not going to get sunburned, and any of that. But our time with the sun is so short where we are. You can't make vitamin D between October 15th and March 15th but now we're in the golden time. So get
we are
as much as you can.
And it's hard to know if the burning mouth was related more to the vitamin D deficiency, because I was taking, 100,000 international units at the same time I was starting the bioidentical. So, I guess I needed all of it anyhow, but.
Well, here's the thing. Vitamin D is a hormone. And
it is a hormone.
Yeah, it affects everything. So, frankly, I have not heard of burning mouth syndrome as a symptom of low estrogen. That hasn't been my experience. But the vitamin D deficiency, because you were really low at 19, that's associated with just all kinds of things. And people have enhanced mood when they get their vitamin D back up and all kinds of things. So you're on the right track. And what you want to do now is just every year reevaluate the hormone prescription. Just every year do that. But you don't, anything that's working, stay on it. One of the things that I don't like people to do is think, oh, God, I shouldn't be on this, and is this dangerous? No. Whatever's working, stick with. But remember, we humans, right this very moment, we're in an ascension cycle. We are ascending to a new vibration. More light is coming in, which is why there's so much darkness. And so what worked for you 3 months ago may not work for you in 2 months. We're changing that quickly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. That makes me feel a lot better. And I heard you speak to the earlier caller about, I can't even pronounce it.
Prairie. Yeah.
Right. So I will look into that, but I will stay on bioidenticals for a year and then reevaluate at that time.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you have a healthcare practitioner who will prescribe them. That's important.
Yes, it's a naturopath. That's probably why. Family doctors don't know a lot about.
Oh no, MDs, no. They're unless they have a special interest.
Specialized.
Yeah. Naturopaths are great. Yep.
They are. Okay, thanks, Christine. That was my question.
Okay, ladies, we're going to take a short break. Okay, I love you, and I'm going to take a short break. Dr. Christine, in a second, we'll be back. Just a short break, a 30-second break.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at OMTimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
COVID-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
If you're feeling increasingly lonely right now, you're not alone. It's totally normal. Even though we may not be able to get together in person, connecting virtually with friends and family still gives you a chance to interact with people and may help raise your spirits. Join a virtual book club, set up group text chats, or online video coffee breaks with coworkers.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
And I'm back with the amazing Dr. Christiane Northrup is with me tonight, and we are taking calls. And by the way, Dr. Northrup, I didn't take any hormones. I don't know what happened to me. I went through menopause very easily. So I think I'm okay. So
I know you're okay. I know you're okay. You know what's funny? I tried all the bioidenticals. I tried the transdermals. I tried everything. It never made any sense at all. I completely understand. Here's what I think. I think we have very healthy adrenals, very healthy ovaries, so our bodies make all the hormones we need.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's take another call. We're going to go to New York to Pauline. Hi, Pauline.
Hi. Thank you for having Dr. Northrup. I've been listening to her blog or whatever you do during the week. Yes, I know, but she's got a harp. She plays harp beautifully, and I can't wait for her singing voice.
Oh my God, she sings like from heaven. I'm listening to her to every live she does because of music. All the information. I don't know if somebody can have so many talents.
Well, she doesn't think her voice is beautiful, but I think it's beautiful.
And she dances, and she sings, and she's a doctor, and she's everything. She's
ethical, and she's on the right side right now.
God, she wants to help her. She's genuine. She's authentic. She's everything.
Yeah, she's putting up with all the bull from the world that's trying to attack her. And and she's not turning bitter. She's still being her sweet self and just being love. And that's what we're all supposed to do. My question is, I do know that the ascension and all the energies that are coming in, I believe I'm reverse aging. I already went through menopause like Carmen and you. I didn't have a horrible experience. So I'm wondering, have you had any experience where some women have reversed their aging and all of a sudden get pregnant?
Yes. There's interesting. I met a shaman who was originally, you're going to laugh, from Queens, honest to God. His name was Brant Secunda. And when he was 19 or so, he was very interested in marijuana because back then, it wasn't available and all that. So he looked it up in the dictionary, and cannabis said "see huichol," and so he says. So I went to see him, and the huichols are were at least a very remote tribe in northern Mexico, and he set out to find them. He was nearly dead when he found them. And they knew it was coming. Anyway, he lived with them for 18 years. And he said the women routinely got pregnant in their 50s and 60s because the tribal belief was that having a baby was a sign of God and the divine. And so they were never worried about fertility. And then the other thing is this. Nobody told them that their eggs were old. So we know that we can extend fertility. I'm not a big fan of all of this assisted reproductive technology. I had a woman as old as 52 come to see me. She thought she was menopausal. She was pregnant. But I absolutely know that people can age in reverse. We know that because biologic age and chronologic age can be so different. You can be 80 going on 35, but what we see more often is 35-year-olds going on 80. I mean, there are people in their 40s who can't do a squat or get down on a rug and play with their grandchildren.
Right.
So we need to understand that we have enormous control over our biologic age, which is why I can't remember his name, but from the Cleveland Clinic, wrote a book about this called Younger Next Year. And so what's so beautiful about the human body is that it responds to your thoughts, it responds to your activity. Right now I'm working with a personal trainer to get my muscles stronger, and it absolutely works. And if I didn't do it with the trainer, who's kind of like a midwife, I probably wouldn't do it. I wouldn't push myself as far as he does. So there are times when, when we need to, we grow and we change according to being on that edge, where it's just, it doesn't hurt you, but it's uncomfortable, and there's and you got to decide what you're going to do. I remember I wanted to learn how to snowboard, and so I took lessons. One Christmas I was visiting my hometown, and I took lessons and tried to do snowboarding. I'm a really good skier, but I had never done snowboarding. And we got up to the top of the lift, and I fell on the lift when you go down the on-ramp, and then I couldn't do it. And I said to myself, I am not willing to go through the steep growth curve of learning this. It's not of that much interest to me. And so I have no regrets whatsoever. But I was fine with the personal training, fine with the tango dancing. And then now, because of this wonderful audience like you, I mean, think about it. Last year, in April, I started these daily things on Facebook just because I thought that the culture was getting a little out of whack, and I'll bet a lot of people were feeling like I was, that something makes sense here. So I just started to do a daily thing. And, and then my beloved died, and I, finally announced that to the whole community. And, and then his soul came through Amy, the singer from L.A. She writes to me. She says, you're going to think I'm nuts, but Ron came to me, and he wants me to sing you this song. And I go, I don't think you're nuts. Oh. So we've gathered this entire global group who call themselves the Warriors of the Radical Light. So it's been, that's how we grow. We put ourselves out there where it's just uncomfortable. I mean, a month ago, if you'd told me that I was going to sing or even play the harp, in public like that, I never would have done it. But then I thought, so what? Let's just try it.
But the way you're doing is magic. Absolutely magic.
And you're helping change the belief system of every woman out there who thinks they're old, and I'm tired of hearing them say that to me. And the men, you've got so much time left. And I'm like, you non-stop that. There's no testing is time, okay? I said, I'm reverse aging. I don't care what you're doing, but I'm not listening to anything you say.
No, that's why I tell people I don't want to hear your age. To this day, I do not know my Pilates teacher's age because for me, she will always be 35. That's just how old she's going to be in my head. So I tell people, don't tell me. I don't want to put you in a cage based on your age. Right. So I just say, when you have to go get your driver's license renewed, you got to put your birth date down. Just put your hand over it, and then you just say, this doesn't apply to me. And you really, truly can get younger, but you've got to be in a subculture of wellness. You've got to be around other people who treat you as though you are a vibrant, capable person. Because think of what happens. This is interesting. There was a study done by Bill Evans a long time ago. It was in the New England Journal of Medicine. And he was teaching 90-plus-year-olds in nursing homes. He was doing weight training with them so that they could get up out of bed and go to the bathroom by themselves. And he was highly successful. The people really got stronger. What happened, though, is that the nurses didn't like it because the nurses saw their role as taking care of decrepit, old, helpless people. And so the culture of the nursing home was such that they didn't want anything to do with that. It's the same with those amazing studies they've done where they put these men in monasteries for 10 days and had pictures of them in their prime, and they did, hearing tests, eyesight, all of that stuff. And they then had them be together, watching TV shows from their prime, all of that. In 10 days, they all looked younger, their hearing improved, their eyesight improved, everything improved. But then, when their families came to pick them up, "Oh, Dad, let me carry that for you. You're too old." Or, so everyone listening, I just want to say, if you're one of those people who tells your parents, "You're too old to do that, you shouldn't do that anymore." Now, I'm not talking about a 95-year-old who's essentially blind and needs to stop driving. There are times when it's just dangerous to keep doing that.
Right.
In general, my mother drove around in her camper with her 92-year-old ex-nun friend. I mean, they went all over the country. They climbed the 100 highest peaks in New England. They did all that in their 80s and early 90s. So, we just,
amazing.
I just grew up with age doesn't mean a thing. And then, I like the old happy, healthy dead. When it's time to go, you go. I'm also not afraid to die because, I got a lot of good friends on the other side.
You got them both places. You got your bases covered. Thank you so much for that the next person call in and talk to you. It was a blessing to have you.
It's all about Chronos and Kairos. So Chronos is the chronology and Kairos is the vibration energy. My grandmother lived 110 and her mother 112.
Wow.
And she actually died speaking. She was speaking.
Amazing, Carmen. Wow.
Good genes you got there.
Good genes.
All right. That's the last, girl.
I agree with you. I'm going to take another call because all these ladies, there's so many ladies here. And I know all of you want to speak with Dr. Northrup, but unfortunately the show is only 1 hour. I'm going to take Christine from Ontario. Hi, Christine. How are you, my dear?
Oh, hi. Hi, Carmen. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad and excited, ladies, to be here with you tonight. Christiane, I'm a fan of you.
Thank you.
I'm with you in all the, all the posts that you put on Facebook. I'm a warrior, I think, waiting for the dream spell to be done.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. I like that,
Right.
I just wish to see the end. I mean, maybe this is about the end, right? I like your work, Christiane. I love what you do. I can't wait to read your book. I am not premenopause. I am not menopaused yet. I think I'm premenopause, but I'm not there yet. And I believe what you're saying about hormone. I think the body have the power to heal. Yes. And I believe very, very strongly in what you say in see like a renew of yourself, working with you and with your soul to make that connection with your soul. And this is Carmen also field, and I'm really interested on that too. So I believe everything you're saying, and I can't wait to buy this book. I want to prepare myself, because I will never buy that story with hormone that put me down, and dancing on the table. I'll never buy that story,
That's right. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And it is true. If you just read, let's say the first 5 chapters or so, you get the gist of what this is as a soul growth thing. It's like it's a rebirth. And once you understand that and the reason why things happen, then you have the keys to the ignition in your own hand instead of, this is the beginning of the end, and now I'm going to get dry and old and shriveled up and break a hip. No.
And, this is so logic to me, and it speaks me so clear. And when you say that, I don't need to go further on the story to buy it. I believe in that simple beginning, what you're saying,
Yes.
There is something more deeper than that.
Yes.
And the body has that power to connect with the soul and to heal.
It does. Yes.
Yeah. I love that. I so love that. And I cannot more agree with you about the healing. You know, I'm doing the cleanse of medical medium, which I love. You know, and I think the body will heal in these ways. You know, doing organic stuff, let's say.
Right, and I think right now we are under evolutionary pressure, really.
Mm-hmm.
We're under evolutionary pressure to grow now. We really are.
Yeah.
And so it's like what I often say, we're like a lump of coal that through heat and pressure is being made into a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I said to Carmen, it really is like the planet herself, humanity is in perimenopause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so brilliantly said.
Yeah.
This is exactly what it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Carmen, I have a question for you regarding my husband. I can give you the birth if you want.
I would love to take that separately. If you give me a call after the show, I'll give you a separate time and just call me after the show and we'll do it because it's going to take longer. The show is coming to an end. But do you have any questions to Dr. Northrup? Anything else you want to ask?
Yeah, maybe I want to ask you, what do you think about a prolapse? You know, the beginning of that phase of a prolapse. You know, before going to opacity. Of course, I'm not. I don't believe in that either. But I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts in that?
Yeah, for that you really need to do things like classical Pilates will often completely reverse that. And then Katie Bowman is a biomechanical specialist, and her brand is Nutritious Movement. And Katie Bowman has all kinds of exercises to restore the pelvic floor so that prolapse does not go anywhere. You want to just stop it right where it is. And that can be done. It's important to realize the body is very malleable. And so classical Pilates is a fantastic way to work with that. But also, if you have it nearby, a women's health physical therapist who deals with the pelvic floor, they are trained.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah. I start already. I had one session.
Okay.
And I'll go.
Yeah.
Further on to see how we can heal that. I don't believe again in passery and all that stuff. I don't believe in that.
Right.
But it's good to know about Katie Ork. You said Katie, right?
Katie, Katy Bowman.
Yeah.
Bowman. And she has many, many, many videos available. Yep.
Oh, that's good. Good to know.
Okay.
Thank you so much. It was so
my lovely Christina. Thank you so much for calling us. I really appreciate.
Yeah. Bye-bye, ladies.
Okay, my dear. Thank you so much for calling. So, any new projects, any upcoming events, anything you want to share with our audience?
Yes, I'm going to be in Tampa at the Thrive Time show of Clay Clark, which is a whole bunch of medical freedom people. And this is going to be June 17th through 20th. I'm going to be in Sioux City, South Dakota, for the Advanced Medicine Conference of Rashid Buttar, and that's over Labor Day weekend. And I'm currently working on a little booklet. It's going to be called A Mom's Guide to the COVID Shot. And I'm very excited about it because we've got some things that I think everyone needs to know to make an informed decision. And I believe that that'll be out by the time of Clay Clark's show in Tampa. So that's where things are. I feel as though this is going to be the summer of health sovereignty and freedom. A lot's going to go on this summer, and I'm very excited about it.
Super. And what about a movie? Why am I seeing a movie? What is my vision?
You know, here's what I believe. I believe we're going to see a complete transformation in the entertainment business. We're going to see uplifting screenplays. We're going to see beauty. We're going to be seeing real love. It's enough with the vampires. Enough with the hookup culture.
So
enough,
true.
All
the nonsense, all the violence.
Yeah. Enough. We're going to see, I think, a transformation where people will get back to
And you see the medical field, people in the medical field are finally, they can speak. They can really do their work.
Yes, exactly. This censorship thing, what we have to do, here's what I think. We need to get the humanity at a higher level of frequency and vibration, which is one of the, that's what you do, so that we get more light. And when we get more light in the collective, in humanity, then we will switch on a whole new world, a kind of a new earth that's very exciting, without slavery, without income tax, without, working 3 jobs to make ends meet. This is not necessary. We don't need to be doing this. So I believe that's what's coming, a new humanity. That's what astrologically they've called the Great Awakening, and we're in the middle of it. Yeah,
we're in the middle. I think we have another 12 years to go. I think that this is the beginning of a number of lessons. Yes. But we will get through, and we will evolve, and we will reach that era of enlightenment everybody's talking about. But Dr. Northrup, I am so grateful. You're such an inspiration. You are my hero, and you are everything for me. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. Thanks. And I would love to ask you, will you one day consider do a live on Facebook with me on my fan page?
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll have my assistant email your assistant. If whenever you have 30 minutes, we can sing together. We can do beautiful things.
I love it.
I love you, Dr. Christiane Northrup. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for everything you do for all of us. And thank you for being part of my